I'm TJ Reed. I'm a senior here at St. Augustine Prep. I'm from Williamstown, New Jersey, and I just want to tell you a little bit about my Caritas project. I think something that's really interesting about the whole Caritas idea is that it is a service project, but it is also something that you can really mold and kind of make to your strengths and opportunities. So for my Caritas project, I made the help program, Hermits for English Learning Peers, and essentially what that was, I'm now in AP Spanish, and I saw, in my community that there was a need for some of the English learning language students in Williamstown. I worked in the Williamstown public school system, and so essentially what I did was just go in after school every day towards the spring of last year, that was 2015, and help them kind of transition to school a little bit, help them with their day-to-day activities, and just kind of overall have them get a little bit better learning experience. And it was something really, it was really rewarding for me, and hopefully something that I can pass on to the next class. So to go a little bit more in depth, what I did every day from right around March to the end of the year, I left school here in Richland and I drove down to Holly Glen Elementary School in Williamstown, New Jersey, and what I did when I went there, whether it was a half hour or it ended up maybe 2 hours sometimes, helping some of the English learning language students that were there, whether it was Spanish, because I did have a little bit of a background in Spanish, but I also interacted with kids that there was a little Russian kid. It was a kid who spoke Mandarin, and for me it was really interesting, and it was a good experience because I was able to see kind of different perspectives, and I think just because I was, now I'm in 12th grade, so I hadn't been in that environment for a while. It definitely gave me some skills in terms of problem solving, just how to interact with people, how to go about, talking and problem solving. I think that's something I gained from it. And I did have a second part of the Caritas project, which was over the summer, which was a program at the Cape May County Library where I made Spanish Tuesdays with Senior TJ, and I taught reverse, kind of a converse way. I taught some basic Spanish to some of the English-speaking kids down in Cape May County. So it was cool to kind of have those different aspects and know that you were doing good and kind of making a difference. So I think the most rewarding aspect for me, I know I kind of went this a little bit earlier, but it was kind of the connections I made, especially when I was working in Holly Glen and making the connections between students. When I went in there, something that was cool to me, I go in and, this is, when I walked in, it was just, teenager they didn't know, just another kid walking in that was, having them read some more and not necessarily do anything fun. And by the end, and towards the end, towards right around May when I stopped the program for the year, I was able to build connections with some of the students to a point where I was walking in and now they wanted to read. Now they were picking up books and they were excited to read. And just the idea of, making a difference in terms of getting kids that want to learn, and, kind of inspiring that a little bit, even if it is small, it was cool to see that kind of development, and it made me feel good about, what I was doing. So towards the future, and it is a little bit in the future, but I'm looking to hopefully get, whether it's an international relations or international business degree in undergrad, and then move on to law school after. And I think it is underrated what the Caritas program does for you, I think, especially moving forward. But for me, this experience and the experience of working with others, and not only helping them learn a language, but for me, just getting more comfortable with the Spanish language. I want to eventually be fluent in Spanish. This was definitely a big help. And again, just interacting with people, interacting with different cultures and different mentalities, I think it's going to help me a lot going forward, especially if I'm in a position where I am working internationally. So that was something that helped me out a lot in this Caritas. advice to give towards future students doing their Caritas project, I'd say for me, the reason I think I had some success with it and that I enjoyed doing it was because I went and I looked for my strengths and my sources in the community to help out. And I think when kids just go out and just kind of pick a cause and aren't really connected to it, it becomes tough. It becomes tough to do a Caritas project. Do 100 hours of service because you're not really emotionally invested. But again, if you are looking to do a Caritas or do anything really for that matter, you got to be enthusiastic about it, and you got to want to do it. If not, it's going to be a chore, and you're not necessarily going to want to do it. And that's not what this is about. So if I did have any advice, it is to make the Caritas project your own and kind of suit it to your strengths.